Uh, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, or whatever time you're listening to this. This is Michael Hodges, the Community Father, and welcome to another episode of the Community Father video series. We're still on episode 5. Episode 5 is going to be broken up into several parts as we do the book review for Bishop Hearns' How Odds Even Through Grace. And we are so excited to have him again back to share his life story with us. And if you have listened to the other two videos, I'm sure are eagerly anticipating to hear what he says next because his life has just been filled with great adventure. It's an adventure story, but it's also a love story too, if you listen closely. So before we get into Bishop's story, Bishop has requested that we pray before each episode, which I'm in total agreement. So I'm going to hand the floor over to Bishop to lead us in prayer.
Thank you so much, Brother Michael. We appreciate that. God, we come to you on this particular day in the month of August in the year of 2025. And we come and allow and ask you to take our mind for a trip. So as Michael leads me by questions, that I will be able to take the trip in my mind in such a way that I could tell the story as it happened in my life over these 92 years. I give you the praise for it, even before we even start. I thank you for giving me a daughter and really 3 daughters and 3 sons that you gave to their mother and I, that we are able today to be able to still tell the story and let the whole world know, no matter how we've been treated, what happened to us, that there is nothing that can cost you more than hate in our heart for anyone. Lord, give us the strength, the wisdom, and the remembrance. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen, sir. Yes. So, after listening to your story last time about, especially the part about you walking the cows to 7, 8 miles to get to the other farm,
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe they ought to raise the age limit or lower the age limit for kids to get a job because that was no easy feat. You taking those 10 cows and you were only 8 or 9 years old.
That is correct.
So that just let me know just how much our kids are capable of doing. And I think we've kind of gotten away from that. And we're so worried about their comfort that we kind of take away from them reaching their full potential. Not that kids need to be out there working like that, but they're definitely not helpless. And
Absolutely,
yes,
absolutely, Michael. I didn't even consider it work. It was just a part of my everyday operations, and my cows knew me, and I
uh-huh.
knew my cows.
Okay. Yeah.
And they
So,
kind of followed me like
uh-huh.
little, really like cows, like dogs. They knew that if I said it was safe, it was safe.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
so I'm thankful for the opportunity.
Regarding that incident, I did want to ask you, were you barefooted when you did that?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Sure
Wow.
was. I was barefooted all summer long, every summer,
Uh-huh.
totally barefooted, and all the way up until it was too cold, and then they put out my old shoes and uh, put them, dust them off, and
Uh-huh.
ready to go again.
All right. So that leads us to now we're on the Burks plantation. And what I read is that the way the Burke's plantation was situated outside of Byhalia, by several miles, it kind of limited your interaction with white folks.
It did.
Okay.
Yes, it
And
did.
and then Mr. Burks, he saw something in you. What led him to start letting you operate all the different farm equipment, the combines, the hay balers, and plowing mules? What caused that?
Well, I think of several things that caused that. One was that when my mama took me to his cafe to ask him if he would please take us on to his farm.
Uh-huh.
He could see that I didn't have much weight, but I had some pretty good height,
Uh-huh.
and because I was probably, I would guess, if I remember, I might have been a little taller than Mama then,
Uh-huh.
and so that I think is one thing. The other thing is Mama told him that my boy can plow a mule like the rest of the farm here, because I had learned how to plow a mule with a middle buster, and I know that you guys probably don't know anything about a middle buster, but a middle buster was a plow,
Uh-huh.
and it had two wings on it like a bird,
Uh-huh.
and you hook two mules to it, and and as it would go down through where plants had been, it would
Uh-huh.
rip it up.
Uh-huh.
So I had learned how to do that, and I could use those mules. They knew my voice,
Uh-huh.
and so I think all these put together, Mr. Rivers saw that I had some experience, and then the rest of it, I think he just on his own saw that I, because I think I could hear him telling Mama one time, say your son learns quickly.
Uh-huh.
And I was just thinking this morning, I just scanned through the book a little bit because I knew you were going to call me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about the barns and sawmills, and sawmills had a big ripping saw that
Uh-huh.
would rip the logs up,
Uh-huh.
and it was wide open. If you got too close to it, that thing could, oh, it could rip you all to pieces in a split second.
Uh-huh.
But I just had a handle and I enjoyed it, man.
Mm.
If you put me on a tractor,
Uh-huh.
I'm at home.
Yeah,
Put me
yeah.
on a hay baler, I'm at home.
Uh-huh.
Because I wasn't walking, I was riding on the tractor and tying the wires so that it would, when the bale of hay come through, it would already be tied up and it
Uh-huh.
would drop them off. So I think he just saw that I could learn very quickly
Yeah.
because that was just what I wanted to do.
Okay. The closest I've ever came to doing anything like that was using the push lawnmower back when I was growing up. My father had my brother and I doing the lawn, and we would use the push lawnmower. Didn't have a motor. You pushed it to make the blades spin.
Well, now
And
you talking to a guy who know all about that.
so I went, and actually I took my wife by the old house where I used to do that, you know, and I was so amazed because back when I was a kid, it felt like we were doing work, major work. But
Well, you were doing.
when I took my wife by there to look at the house, the lawn was so small. I was thinking to myself, that was really no job at all. But it felt like one as a kid. Of course, when you get older, everything you remember when you were younger is seems smaller than it,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah. So, I had a question. As you talk, more and more questions come to my mind. First of all,
Okay.
I find it hard to believe that he had you in there next to that dangerous saw that was ripping logs apart.
My mama would be so scared she didn't know what to do.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm sitting there watching that big saw cut them logs and see, and when it cut the log, you'd be on the other end, and they
Uh-huh.
call it off bar,
Off bar. Okay.
off bar. And you stand there and catch the piece of lumber that it cut off.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it come back down, it would cut another piece. You grab that one. So you had a place where you stacked. If he was cutting, let's say, uh, 2x6s,
Uh-huh.
2x4s,
Uh-huh.
2x8s, and
Yeah.
I knew all of the sizes. So
Uh-huh.
if they cut a 2x8, I stacked that one on the rest of the
Gotcha.
2x8s and so forth.
Wow.
So it was something you just stay out of the way, and it had nobody. And all those years that I was on the farm, I
Uh-huh.
never heard of anybody really getting hurt.
Wow. So a plantation was basically like a city all in its own
It,
because you wouldn't have to go anywhere to buy lumber like we do today. We go to Home
no,
Depot or something. You cut your own right there
Miss,
on the plantation.
Mr. Rivers did. Now,
Uh-huh.
other smaller plantations, the uh, they most of them didn't have these sawmills and everything, but
Okay.
Mr. Rivers had everything: the big Moline tractors,
Uh-huh.
the all the combines, the
Mm-hmm.
hay balers, the sawmill, and he himself
Mm-hmm.
built the houses, the shacks that we
Uh-huh.
lived in. So he'd go down there in way back in the woods. There were the big trees where
Uh-huh.
he would cut them down and bring them into the sawmill, and then you do what you call trim and set the log up.
Uh-huh.
You run it and cut a thin piece off
Uh-huh.
until he get it all shaped up like he wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
some trees he would cut 2x4s only. Some
Uh-huh.
trees he would cut 2x6s only. So as
Uh-huh.
a kid, at 8, 9, 10 years old, as I grew to be 10, 11, 12, all the way up until I was 16,
Uh-huh.
I knew all that. I mean, I
Wow.
just knew all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
and had fun doing it.
Yeah.
Work, work. Some of the men would be getting all tired, and man, I'm ready to go.
Wow. So Mr. Burks basically was the hardware store. Did other farms come to him to get those pieces of wood?
Yes, some of them did. Some of them bought wood from him. Some of, and then he had also a grocery store downtown Bahia.
Uh-huh.
And the pictures in the book.
Okay.
He had a store downtown. You could buy feed. You could buy um, all the stuff you needed for farm and all that. And
Uh-huh.
Mr. Rivers had it. And
Uh-huh.
not only did he have it, that white dude worked all the time
Okay.
and did the work himself. And
Uh,
he start up the tractor, and the tractor would be sitting like, oh, maybe uh, 20 or 30 feet away from where the big saw would be.
Uh-huh.
And it had a belt,
Uh-huh.
and it had a big belt that ran off of the tractor over to where the saw was, and
Uh-huh.
it would turn that saw.
Okay. Yeah.
And so he had everything to do a farm with.
Yeah.
And by the way, and I was
Uh-huh.
this is something as I was looking at that, I said it was about 900 acres, but as I think back over it, it had to be close to 2,000 acres
Mm.
because it started at Miller and
Uh-huh.
went way on back to where all the shack was, and
Uh-huh.
it was so big till he could have. Oh, I'm gonna guess he had 30 or 40 sharecroppers or
Uh-huh.
more,
Uh-huh.
and you couldn't even see all the
Uh-huh.
houses. It would be so far.
Uh-huh.
So it was a big farm,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
learned
Uh-huh.
everything I could get my hands on.
Right. Yeah. I got a question about the plow because I kind of understand what you're talking about. That
That middle,
front. Yeah.
that middle
So
buster.
yeah, what did you have to do anything to make sure it went deep? I mean, because
Yes,
sometimes I'm
yes,
thinking, what did you
yes.
have to do to make sure that it dug deep?
Okay. The mill buster had, I got a cane here.
Hmm.
The mill buster had uh, a tongue on it, kind of like this right here. And it had holes. This must have been about
Uh-huh.
12 inches,
Uh-huh.
12, 14 inches. And if you wanted it to go deep, you 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 lower the notches there.
Oh, okay.
And then if you
Just like
wanted
a
to go,
lawnmower.
that's right.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
And
Okay.
so that's basically how they do that. And then you'd hook your what we call a double tree. Well,
Uh-huh.
a double tree had a single tree on each end.
Hmm.
One single tree had a mule apiece in it. So
Hmm.
if it's a big one and you wanted it to go deep, you know it's gonna be heavy on the mule. So you put the two mules,
On each
small,
side? Two on
that's
each
right,
side?
one on each side,
Mhm.
and you hook the single tree to the double tree and the double tree to the holes on the plow.
Okay. Sheesh. Wow.
Oh man,
And
it was
you were doing that
that,
as a young man.
oh, as a kid,
Uh-huh. And then,
absolutely.
and you said that that would later benefit you when you guys got your own farm.
Oh man, I get see we when we got our own farm, we were set up.
Hmm.
But then I was 16 and my brothers, of course, and everybody else were older. Oh,
Uh-huh.
we were ready to go. We
Yeah.
could raise 6, 7, 8 to 10 bales of cotton on
Uh-huh.
our own property.
Yeah.
And uh, I think I went into you how they just, when you sell your cotton, these cotton buyers, you unload your cotton, your bales of cotton out in the yard. And I used to look at my daddy being uh, one or maybe two black men, not too many black men will be out there on the lot with
Uh-huh.
their cotton for sale.
Uh-huh.
So but I could see my daddy walking out there watching them when they pull the cotton. And when
Uh-huh.
they pull it, if it pull long, that means it's good cotton.
Okay.
But if it breaks right away, then they know it's what they call nappy cotton,
Okay.
nappy cotton.
Okay.
And you couldn't make much thread out of it. But if it pulled long, and my guess what long would be like 4 or 5 inches.
Uh-huh.
And the longer it pulled, the more the salesman the cotton buyers would pay you for your cotton.
Okay.
And I used to see my daddy dealing with the white man, and
Uh-huh.
he had a little pencil right up behind his ear, like all the rest of them did.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't really get a chance to, I guess, really appreciate it until after I got a chance to leave home and look back at what my daddy did
Uh-huh.
and how he was able to take his cotton and
Yeah.
sell and get it. They had to pay him right there on
Right.
the lot, just like they did the white dudes.
Yes. Yes. That's something.
That was
Um,
something.
you know, so I'm thinking that that's where the term nappy for hair came from the cotton.
I don't know. It could be,
Okay.
but it didn't pull long. If
Uh-huh.
he pick your cotton up and he started pulling an immediate break, that's
Uh-huh.
nappy cotton. And
Okay.
they'd say, red, and everybody called him red.
Uh-huh.
Red, we can't pay you that much for this.
Okay. So would a
And
whole shipment be like that?
you
Either
have a
good or
whole,
bad? Or would it?
well, you'd have, when you go to the gin,
Uh-huh.
we had we had cotton, and the name of the brand of our cotton that my daddy would use is called DP&L number 12, I believe it was.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Now, what all them numbers meant, I don't really know. But Daddy said that DPNL was the best cotton.
Okay.
So now you'd have a bale of cotton, but to make a 500-pound bale of cotton of the DPNL number 12, 11, whatever it
Uh-huh.
was, it take 1,400 pounds
Okay.
to make a 500-pound bale of cotton.
Mm-hmm.
And so the nappy cotton, that's when we would pretty much be winding down
Yes.
to get the last pickings.
Uh-huh.
And but when the cotton first opened up, uh, and it seemed like to me that's like August, September, somewhere in there, is when
Uh-huh.
the cotton opened. Man, that'd be big, bluffy
Uh-huh.
bowls of cotton,
Yeah.
and that's the long pull. So you go through and pick all that cotton off,
Uh-huh.
and that's where you get your pull.
I got
Now, Daddy would say, okay, we're gonna go back out, and if it got a little too cold and didn't have much left, they do what they call pull cotton.
you. Mm-hmm.
Now, pull cotton is you just pick the bowl and all. And most of the time, that was nappy cotton.
Mm. Uh-huh.
It wasn't a big, fluffy bowl like that, but
Yeah.
nappy cotton. So you pick the bowl and all, take it to the gin,
Uh-huh.
and it took probably 16 or 1700 pounds of that to
Uh-huh.
make a 500-pound bale.
Mm.
But they'll
Mm.
pay you for it, but it wasn't nothing like
Yes.
the
Nothing like
big
the
bowl.
good cotton.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Man, interesting.
And I'd be watching too. I'd be acting
Uh-huh.
like I knew what was going on. And
Uh-huh.
I was watching it.
Yeah.
And I said, Daddy, what, how come they call it that? Well, son, it didn't pull much.
Yeah.
And I said, they're not cheating. No, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And your dad was watching them closely, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
So,
my daddy
uh-huh.
bring my daddy bring back his own money.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
get he get and also in the fluffy cotton,
Uh-huh.
that's where he would get his seeds from
Uh-huh.
for next year.
Yes. Yes, sir. To make sure that he has the good growing good cotton.
That's correct.
So that's good. Thank you for that, Bishop. You know,
You
after
ask me anything about the farm, I'm up on that.
yeah, the way you
Hey,
describe Burks, the way you describe Mr. Is it Mr. Rivers or Mr. Burks?
Mr. Burke,
Mr. Burks.
Rivers Burke.
Okay. That
Rivers was his first name.
oh, okay. So
And
I would imagine that the shacks, as you call them, were so much better on his plantation than on Macaulay's.
oh man, unspeakable, unspeakable,
Uh-huh.
unspeakable. Because if something was wrong with your house and you told Mr. Rivers, he'd either be down there or he'd have somebody to fix it.
Yeah.
Uh, McCarlin he didn't care.
Wow. You
He did
know,
not.
Mr. Burks just seemed like a high quality individual.
He was not only a high quality individual, he had he had so much care
Huh?
for the people who work for him.
Uh-huh.
And I think I might have mentioned to you about sometime we stop under the shade tree to
Uh-huh.
rest. Well, Mr. Rivers, if he was driving his tractor, he come up, turn off the engine, and he had a great big old straw hat that
Uh-huh.
covered almost like an umbrella.
Uh-huh.
He get off, take his old straw hat off, said, "Oh, you all, how you all doing?" And come, where the water bucket?
Uh-huh.
And then he come out, and we had what is called a gourd.
A gourd. Uh-huh.
And the gourd, you cut the top out of this
It's a plant, right?
it's a plant.
Like a squash type
It's
plant.
like a squash type thing,
Okay.
but it had a handle on it.
Uh-huh.
They cut the top off of it and make a dipper out of it.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Rivers come right up, look over there and get a dipper, get him a dipper of water, and drink right out of our bucket.
Ah,
Just like he was, just
yeah.
like we was more white folks or whatever. And that's the way he treated all of us,
And
all
back
of us.
and back in that time and in that place, that's a big deal
Oh
for a white
man,
man to just kind of kick it and drink out the same water as
as a
yes.
black man,
Uh-huh.
no,
Right,
no.
right, right.
In fact, he is the only one that I've ever seen do that.
Mm-hmm.
The only one. And then you could see those Negroes coming from way across the field because they knew if that big yellow tractor stopped, that Mr. Rivers was probably beyond it. Man,
Uh-huh.
all up together. So we have probably 10, 15, 20 people gathered on the tree for maybe
Uh-huh.
10 or 15 minutes just talking to Mr. Rivers because we got a chance to talk to Mr. Rivers.
Right.
And he just treated us just as, oh man,
Yeah.
I almost come to tears to think about how
Uh-huh.
good he was.
Yeah.
And in fact, when I went to the army and came back,
Uh-huh.
and when I was grown, I always went to, he had moved from Mississippi into Collierville, Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
And we helped him to build his house when we were
Uh-huh.
still on the farm.
Okay.
And I'd go to see him,
Okay.
go to
Yeah.
see him.
So, man, so he was like he was a good male influence in your life, especially while your father was away.
That is correct.
Uh, uh-huh. In
Did you
fact,
want?
you even said that he made sure you had pocket money.
He always would find some little something for me to do where he could give me a quarter or something. And of course, a quarter back in my day,
Uh-huh.
that, that's big money.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because most time you couldn't make more than about 50 cents or maybe a dollar a day.
Uh-huh.
And you getting real money when you
Yeah.
get a dollar in a day
Uh-huh.
for a full 10 or 12-hour day to
Uh-huh.
get a dollar. So yeah, he would have me come do that. Like for an example, go down and cut his yard in his house, and he paid me a quarter or 50 cents or something,
Uh-huh.
so I could always have a little nickel or dime in my pocket.
Yeah.
Then I don't know if this is I he probably need to stop me because I'm getting excited about talking about Mr. Rivers and how he do you
Go
need
ahead.
me to stop? Go ahead.
Tell us that story you can ready to tell me right now.
And that is that when Dr. McCauley put my daddy in the military, he was
Uh-huh.
gone for 2 years. And so Mr. Rivers told my mama, save all the money that he
Mm-hmm.
gave her,
Uh-huh.
put it in the bank. Well,
Yeah.
she knew that the white people wasn't going to let her go to the Bahia Citizen Bank. He said,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, they will, because
Okay.
I'm going to take you." So he take my mama and me, take the money to the bank that was coming from the military, and
Uh-huh.
now he says, "You just go ahead and act like a real sharecropper
Uh-huh.
and borrow whatever money you need to buy shoes or clothes for your kids, and then you pay for that with your
Uh-huh.
cotton that you raised, and then you save that money until
Uh-huh.
he gets back.
Yeah.
So when he gets back, then you'll be ready uh, to buy your own property
Yeah.
and live on your own farm."
So he was looking out for the whole
He's
family.
looking out for the family.
Yeah.
And when my daddy came back and we worked, I don't know, see, because we was I was 16 when we
Okay.
moved on our farm.
Uh-huh.
And we were probably, Angie said, I told you that story,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't know if you wanted me to share it again or not.
You mean the one about your father being upset when he saw you working the
No, no, no. About the money that Mr. Rivers took my mama to the bank and put the money in the bank.
is that going to come up in the book later on?
Oh, it's in the book.
Okay, so then we'll wait. We'll wait on that then.
Okay.
But but I did note take this passage out of your book. It said, "What Mr. Macaulay intended for bad, God intended for
God
good."
intended for good. Yes,
So,
sir.
and it just looked like it was good all the way around.
It was good all the way around.
Yes,
No
from
doubt about it.
your living condition, the fact that you got a chance to get experience working, making money, and your mom putting money aside to save up for a farm, that was God all the way.
Oh, it was God all the way.
Uh-huh.
Because Mama would always tell us, don't worry about uh, uh, what people say about you. You just trust God.
Uh-huh.
And she says, God will make a way.
Yes.
No doubt about it. And he did.
Yeah. So, Bishop, now we're getting ready to get into a sensitive part of the book. And I'm gonna leave it up to you to how much you want to say, but I wanted to talk about the part where you kind of were um, harassed or by two girls when you were about 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that?
I don't mind mentioning it
Okay.
because uh, uh, let's see how I go after that. Uh, we, well, here's how the story goes.
Uh-huh.
We had to walk about 4 miles to school.
Uh-huh.
So every little piece that you could like cut through a piece of farmland, cross a pasture, and get under the fence and go over, and sometimes we cut off a mile or more of going to school and back. And these two girls was going across the same field with me through the pasture. Then they wanted to ask me, you know, do you know what a girl looked like? I didn't, I didn't wasn't paying that much attention at first, but they kept on saying, "Do you scared of girl?" No, I ain't scared of girl. And so and that happened a couple of days going to school back. And then that next, I guess maybe a week later, is when the attack came. And that's when wanted they both grabbed me and pushed me to the ground and was trying to get my pants off and stuff.
Mhm.
And uh, but I was pretty strong, even
Mhm.
though they were, I don't know, they must have been 14 or 15 years old, each of them. And but somehow I was hollering and wrestling and trying to keep my pants on and
Mhm.
was pretty much able to keep them on so that nothing really happened.
Mhm.
Uh, but they tried
Yeah.
everything they could, and that was scary. So all I did, and I was really scared to tell my mama
Mhm.
about it, and I didn't tell anybody about it because they told me if you tell anybody about this, we're gonna do something bad to you.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't tell anybody, but I didn't go back to that pasture no more.
Yeah.
I just walked away around, and that way I'd stay with all the rest of the kids
Yeah.
and didn't take the shortcut.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Years years later, I did tell mom,
Mhm.
and she wanted to know why I didn't tell her. Years back before that,
Uh-huh.
well, I didn't know if anybody would believe me or not. And she said, always tell your mama
Yeah.
because mama care
Yeah.
and because mama understood about the girls and all that.
Yeah.
So I think I came out of that
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
my own thinking.
Yeah. I
But
love,
I stayed out of the pasture and I'd always stay with the rest of the kids when they walk. Because there's
yeah.
always gonna be a bunch of kids in the right road on the
Uh,
road home.
yeah. I love the way you talked about it in the book because you didn't lash out at the girls. In fact, you even said that something sexually probably happened to them. And that's where this mindset was coming from.
Right.
And then you even said I even quoted you from the book. It said it's not God's fault that this happened to me. So
Correct.
did you have that understanding as a kid, or did you kind of come to that conclusion later on in life?
No, no, no. Remember, uh, I the churches were far apart
Mm-hmm.
in the country and that, but I was always somehow or the other the leader of my rest of my siblings
Mm-hmm.
and would go to the nearest church located in our community, and I
Mm-hmm.
would lead them and back. So I was always in church from a little boy up.
Uh-huh.
And by the time I was 12 or 14, I I they ordained me as a deacon,
Mm-hmm.
as a young deacon
Yeah.
in the church. They had me teaching Sunday school. And so I was always around somebody talking about what God would do and how God loved us.
Yeah.
So the rest of it was how I felt about God. Even though I didn't know who he was,
Uh-huh.
I just knew that he would somehow, if he is a real God, like all these older people are telling me he is,
Uh-huh.
then he will take care of you. So
Yes.
uh, it wasn't God's fault that this happened.
Yeah.
And the way I looked at it, the way the old people explained it, is that way back in the Garden of Eden,
Uh-huh.
before there was any sin at all,
Uh-huh.
we were one really with God.
Yes.
But then when sin came along, it
Yes.
separated us, and all these other germs and
Yes.
pneumonia and sickness and
Uh-huh.
death and all that came as a part of the sin that Adam and Eve
Uh-huh.
created in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
So I just felt like that it was not God's fault. And really, it may not have been the girl's fault either,
Uh-huh.
because somehow or the other, they got that from somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the way you said it in the book. You said after the fall of man in the Garden of Eden,
Yeah.
we had become sick to our bones.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And and so that takes us to the remedy which you had in your book. And this is basically a continuation of the conversation you and I were having the other day when we were talking about reparations, reparation for Black people. Um, and I had told you that I wasn't against reparation, but I didn't think that that would solve all of our problems. And I believe that what you wrote here is the solving of all of our problems because it's not that we want reparations. What we really want, whether we know it or not, is we want what Adam had, that oneness
That
that you,
oneness.
that you were just talking about. And so the way you express it in the book, you said the remedy is for us to die to ourselves and to completely forsake our right of claim of anything, including our own bodies. Instead let Christ, the living word of God and the salvation of mankind, take his rightful place on the ship that is our life. Give him the helm and full control of the rudder and the canvas. And
How
so
about
that
that?
yes, very eloquently put. And that's really what we want. That's what man wants, whether they know it or not. And I guess there's a terminology for it that people are saying nowadays, and I'm pretty sure you've heard people talking about kingdom.
Uh,
Have you heard people talking about kingdom now? That whenever they're talking about Christianity, they kind of refer to it as kingdom.
well, you got you got. I was just see. I did a sermon. Now this is up here where I am
Uh-huh.
now. I did a sermon. I think it was a week or so ago,
Uh-huh.
and the statement that I used coming from the book of Romans says, "Now that you know, wake up.
Okay.
Now that you know, wake up." So now I run back 60, 50, 60 years, 70 years, or whatever, when we would go to the church. The preacher would share with us to something like wake up and so on, but in his own way of saying it. And most of these guys, uh, most of these guys did not have very much education. They did
Uh-huh.
not have the education that I have today to dig out and separate the scripture out and so forth. But they did know how to listen to the Spirit of God
Uh-huh.
and share that information from the standpoint of how the Lord really wanted us to have it. In fact, in I in fact, I really go back to them for the foundation of all that I have today.
Uh-huh.
And yes, I can go into theology, systematic theology, and
Uh-huh.
all of that, and the uh, the biblical names for God, and which some of them did not know. But them guys had something that they would share with us that would just draw you out of darkness into light.
Uh-huh.
So help me. So I, I totally believe with all my heart that the Spirit of God was richer then than it is today, because I think we want to get inside of our head. I'd like for people to think, how much I know, all that. That's how I was when I first started preaching. So I'm saying that as I look at this and I think back on it, and I think about how the Lord has brought us through all of the ugliness where we would hate
Mhm.
the whites. And of course, obviously, the whites didn't like us either
Uh-huh.
because they did what they could do to make it bad for us.
Uh-huh.
But the Lord gave himself and has given us the spirit of forgiveness. And
Uh-huh.
that's what the Lord wants us to do today and then, and I think forever. And
Yeah.
that is to not to hate, but when people pass hate to us, pass back love to them.
Uh-huh.
And that is, in my mind, I think that's what Martin Luther King said. Yes, babe. What is it, babe?
You had mentioned about, yes, not to hate, but there's also something called justice. And there's also something about accountability and reckoning for what was done.
Mhm.
And for them not to just dismiss the tragedies and the travesties that were waged against us.
Uh,
Well, that's true. That's
yeah.
true. That is true. But also, baby, is how do I say it? I say it's the word versus being on the spot and being looked in the eye
Mhm.
by our white counterparts
Mhm.
and making us do certain things that we didn't want to do. And then being able to get up out of that and still be able to recapture goodness and love
Mhm.
and still go.
Yes.
So
Can I
it
can
was
can I read how you expressed it in the book, which I thought was great? You said, many have humble and difficult beginnings that embitter us. But what you have learned in your 92 years is that how we respond to our circumstances affects our attitude towards other people.
yes, sir.
And you gave 2 points. You said bitterness leads to me thinking and not he thinking. And then you said he thinking leads to self-centeredness and disappointment.
My God Almighty, I totally forgot.
You wrote that.
Yeah, I totally forgot. And that must have been was that in part two of the new book?
No.
It-
No.
I only read the one, so that's all I know is that it's
Okay.
here. It's in the
But
one you gave me.
I still agree absolutely without a question about it. When we
Uh-huh.
get our heads in it, it's normally not going to work.
Yes.
But if we let the Spirit of God
Yes.
lead us, I guarantee you it'll work every time.
Yes.
Not just part of the time, but
Yeah.
every time. And
So,
so
uh-huh.
I don't want Henry to get in it. If Henry get in it, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But if Henry stand back and let the Spirit of God lead,
Yeah.
it'll work. And it not just work one time, it'll work all the time. And there's a, there's a retribution that has to come forth
Uh-huh.
from whoever does wrong.
Thank
You're gonna pay the price for it.
Yeah.
It may not be right at the moment, but somewhere down the road, somebody gonna pay. And I
Yeah.
got running back to Mr. Rivers Burke. I
Uh-huh.
got to believe that that brother, he never talked about Jesus. He
Uh-huh.
never talked about God,
Uh-huh.
and he never even used curse words or
Uh-huh.
any of that. You would think that he was a Christian,
Uh-huh.
and but I got to believe if there's a heaven anywhere, and I
Uh-huh.
use the word if there was a heaven, not as if I doubt it.
Yes.
But I'm just saying that if there's a heaven and if there's a hell, he
Yes.
missed hell and went to heaven because the
Yes.
brother was good to black people. He treated them like they were real human beings.
Yeah. And he was good to you, sir. And you were a child of God.
That is
So
correct.
I'm sure God appreciates what he did for you, you know?
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
he taught me, even though, there was a whole bunch of boys and growing up on these plantation all over the plantation. But I was the only one that I know of that was
Uh-huh.
working like all the rest of the men because
Uh-huh.
I had to act as though I would one represent my house,
Uh-huh.
my mama and my other siblings. And my daddy was in the army. So I had to get up and go. So
Yeah.
when they were out catching the mules, I had to catch my mule too. And
Yeah.
I had to put all of the gear, the
Uh-huh.
collars, and the trace chains, and all
Uh-huh.
that, hook up mule to my middle buster.
Uh-huh.
All that I had to do.
Yes.
So I won't even go that far because I don't know what other questions you're going to ask. But when I went to college, I
Uh-huh.
remembered some of those things that
Uh-huh.
I did when I was on the farm carried
Uh-huh.
me all the way into college
That's right.
and into engineering field.
Yeah. So before we get into the racial tension, which is the next section of the book, I just want to read these last 2 lines you had in your book while on the Burke's Forum. You said, hardship does not equal defeat. Hardship allows the Lord to deliver us because he overcomes the world. And then you said, we can rise from the ashes to be used for his glory. And
And go
and,
ahead.
and you are an example of that.
Well, I appreciate that. And I know without a doubt, Michael, that it it has been the goodness of God and the teaching of my little mama, who had
Uh-huh.
never been to school in her life. And she continued to tell us, son, you can't hate.
Uh-huh.
You, you can't hate. There's no room for hate because hate produces bitterness, and bitterness can take root in you and rot you instead of the
Yes.
person you hate.
Yes.
So the person you hate may not even know you hate them.
Yes.
But when you begin to love, when you
Mm-hmm.
begin to forgive, and you begin to look ahead of where they are or where you are and where you want to go to, God will help you to do that.
Yes.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yes. So, Bishop, I'm gonna share something with you. Part of my dream is to help the Antelope Valley transform into something that looks like the Garden of Eden. I would love for our community to reflect the kingdom of heaven. And I feel that the best way that I'm going to be able to accomplish that is by using the spirit in which you operate. That I believe that that's the spirit that I need to go forth in, because trying to teach separation or hatred or revenge is not going to work. It just won't.
It will not.
Yes.
And the reason why it will not is the Bible says it will not
Yes.
work. Do
Uh-huh.
not trade evil for evil.
Uh-huh.
And Dr. Martin Luther King came along and he picked that up and he embellished that. He
Yes.
said, darkness cannot dispel darkness.
Yes. Come
Only
on.
light can do that.
Yes, sir.
And hate cannot dispel hate. Only
Uh-huh.
love can do that.
That's right.
And so the thing that we want to get through with is you got to use the opposite. You cannot fight fire with fire. Of
Yes.
course, in fact, when they bombed his house, he told me, y'all go home. Don't
Hmm.
mess with that because God sees it and God's going to take care of it.
Yes.
And so, absolutely, the only way you can change the Antelope Valley and help it to become the kind of place it needs to be, you're going to need good, strong young men like yourself and
Uh-huh.
other young men that you can hopefully bring into your alignment.
Yes.
Hopefully, you can be able to show other men how to treat their wives
Uh-huh.
because that's a big one right there.
Yes.
There's not a lot of men who will
Uh-huh.
absolutely be married to just one woman. They be
Uh-huh.
married to one and reaching across the field at the other.
Uh-huh.
And so
Yeah.
we've got to teach people that right is right and wrong is
Right.
wrong, and there ain't no wrong way to do right.
Yes. Right. Yeah. That's right. Yes. There's God's way, and then that's it.
And then that's it.
There,
There
there-
ain't
there's
no
no
other,
nothing
there
else
ain't
needs
no
to be discussed.
nothing else to be discussed. That is totally the way it is.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord Jesus laid it clear on the table for us.
Uh-huh.
And uh, see there, there's one of my favorite scriptures is St. John chapter 14,
Uh-huh.
and where the author writes, where John writes, "Let not your heart be troubled.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go
Yes.
and prepare a place for you, that
Uh-huh.
where I am, there you may be also." Then he
Yes.
goes to tell the guys, he says, one of the disciples asked him, said, well, I think that's verse 6, where Jesus said, I am the way, the
The truth
truth.
and the life.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
No man comes to the Father
Uh-huh.
except by
Through
me.
the
And then he takes us on down to verse 15
uh-huh.
in chapter 14. And
Yes.
he says, if you love me, keep
Keep my
my
command.
commandments.
Yes.
And then he takes us even further yet. And then
Uh-huh.
he says, I will pray the Father that he will give, because they were concerned about Jesus
Uh-huh.
leaving. And Jesus says, don't worry about that because
Uh-huh.
he will give you another comforter.
Yes.
And he is
Yes.
the Holy Spirit.
Yes. And you know what I honestly believe about that scripture you just said, where nobody comes through the Father but through me. When,
Uh,
when Jesus was saying that, basically he was saying, I already laid the blueprint. I have already showed you the pattern.
yes, sir.
Follow, follow the pattern. And if you listen to a lot of what Jesus was saying, he was saying, I'm not here on my own accord. Everything you hear me say, I get from the Father. And
Hallelujah.
that's the pattern for us to follow. We don't need to be trying to push our own agendas.
Go ahead
God,
on.
God has given us something to do, and we just need to do
We just need to do it.
it.
And when you gonna get your license, Michael?
I have I'm an elder. I'm an
Oh,
elder.
you are.
Yes, yes. In fact, you were at my
How,
ordination, sir. You were there.
how about that?
Yeah, I was ordained at Bishop Heller's church.
How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
And
No, see.
uh, that was, I see how long ago was that?
That's about 6 months ago, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that when he
yeah.
had me there to pray for everyone that
Yes.
went through the line.
Uh-huh.
I
And
do, I do
since
remember
then,
that.
I'm not part of that ministry, but I'm helping another pastor launch a church. Pastor Matthew Blackwood and his wife are launching a church called Kingdom Conduit. So I've stepped in to help him do that. So,
Hey,
but man, I'm just I was
I knew there was something wrong with you. That is so good, man. No doubt about it. And
yeah.
let me tell you that whatever you get out of this with
Uh-huh.
me, I am ready to walk with you and any other young man
I appreciate
to answer any question, to help lay hands on you, to help to encourage you to go ahead.
it. All right, sir. Yes. Yes. Just like Jesus needed John the Baptist.
Yes, sir.
I'm probably going to need you.
Well, you got me.
All right, sir.
I want you to know that. You
Yeah.
definitely
Do,
got me.
do you have more time? Do you have like 30 more minutes or
I think we can handle 30 minutes.
okay? Because I at least wanted to start on overcoming racial tension.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And so
Do you
that,
have time, Angie?
Okay.
Do we?
Uh, okay. So 1 o'clock.
Okay. All right. We can do it.
okay.
30
So
minutes, but we'll have to cut off by one for sure.
okay. All right. So I'll yeah, in fact, I'll probably be done probably about 12:40. I won't go
Okay.
past 12:40. But it starts off talking about the Brown versus Board of Education in your book,
Yeah.
and James Meredith,
Yeah.
and how people were injured and two people were killed in the aftermath.
Yeah.
And how that even though black people had been made free, you guys had to get permission for
And
everything.
everything,
Uh-huh.
everything.
Uh-huh.
And uh, here's a black man that really had the wherewithal to do,
Uh-huh.
but was not free to do.
Okay.
He was, they had the, when he decided to go to the school and call to the consciousness of America, Brown versus the Board of Education. And then that started this rigmarole and said, no blacks are coming here to Mississippi State, or Mississippi, University of Mississippi. And they had to call out, as you saw in the book, and even before, uh, 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 the uh,
National Guard.
the National Guard
Mhm.
in a public school,
Mhm.
and he couldn't go. but he went anyway, even though two people were killed in the midst of uh, keeping uh, 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 that government. I lost his name already. James
James
Meredith,
James Meredith. Yes.
to keep him free. So we've been somewhere,
Hmm.
and God has been with us, and God is going to stay with us,
Uh-huh.
and God is not going to let this go unpunished. And I think about what's going on in our government right now.
Uh-huh.
And this stuff ain't gonna go unnoticed. Something somewhere.
Hmm.
And I believe before many more months pass, I
Uh-huh.
believe something is gonna happen that's gonna
Yes.
bring about some reckoning.
Yes, sir.
I really do
Yes.
believe that.
So, so Bishop, tell us about the tickets that went against your harvest when you guys were sharecroppers.
Oh, okay. Uh, if you remember, I was saying what Mr. Riversburg told
Uh-huh.
my mama to if she wanted some shoes, clothes, food,
Uh-huh.
or whatever, come get a ticket from him,
Oh, I
and
see.
he would uh, give her a ticket, and but he put it on his book. Now
Uh-huh.
most of the plantation owners were not fair like Rivers.
Uh-huh.
They would if you went and got a pair of shoes and they cost you $3.
Uh-huh.
By the time cotton picking time comes, they probably cost $6.
Uh-huh.
And because most of the black people could not read and write, they didn't know the difference. And by the time they're gone, gotten two or three tickets, some for food, some for this, and some for that, uh, they will have forgotten by the time the cotton picking. So when you sell the cotton and couldn't count your money, uh, uh, the white man would take most of it, and by the time you ready to go back next year, you back in debt again for most part. But
Mm-hmm.
Rivers was not that way at
Mm-hmm.
all. Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Rivers was not that way. So that ticket was what you get to go buy you some shoes for your
Mm-hmm.
kids or groceries for your house.
So you said that many Southern blacks lived in fear of whites, but you guys didn't because of the way that you carried yourselves.
That is correct.
Okay.
Well, uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's there was there was other. Well, my daddy
Mm-hmm.
left home when he was about 12,
Mm-hmm.
and he lived with Dr. McCauley in his upper stair there and learned to drive a car. And so he drove the doctor everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So my daddy knew how to holler, "Yes, sir, Captain. Yes, sir, boss.
Yes.
Hey, boss man, how you doing
Uh-huh.
today, sir?" And then he would yank his little hat off
Uh-huh.
and hold it in his hand,
Uh-huh.
in honor of speaking to a white man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a white man might not have been as old as he was,
Uh-huh.
but that's the way he would act. So the
Yeah.
white, so as long as you were obedient
Uh-huh.
and doing and saying yes sir and laughing when you weren't
Yeah.
tickled about anything,
Yeah.
most likely nothing was going to happen.
Right.
So
Right.
we never had any problem at
Yeah.
all when we grew up.
Okay. Yes. Um, tell us about your friend Herbert. What was he trying to get you to do?
Little Herbert, let's see, Herbert, I would say Herbert, I don't know which one of us was the oldest,
Uh-huh.
but I know I was probably he was about 13. And so one day we were playing uh, out there in the yard with our little trucks and
Uh-huh.
stuff, and he said, Henry, you, ain't you, don't you think it's about time now for you to start saying yes, sir, and no, sir to me? I said, what do you
Mm-hmm.
mean, Herbert?
Uh-huh.
He says, you know, I don't know if I wrote it in the book or not, but he said, well, I'm white
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and I'm a young man. My daddy
Yeah.
told me I was a young man. So
Uh-huh.
you're supposed to be saying yes, sir, and no, sir to me.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, Herbert, let me see, the only answer I got for you is if you will say yes, sir, and no, sir to me, I'll say yes, sir, and no, sir to
Uh-huh.
you.
Yeah. Yes.
And he ran home and I guess told his mom and daddy,
Uh-huh.
and he ain't played with me no more since. I ain't seen him, and he ain't
Uh-huh.
seen me
Yes.
because that
Okay.
was all over.
Yes. Yeah. So there's something to be said about that. Because even though you knew how to carry yourself around white people, you still had a spirit of knowing who you're worth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Can
I
you tell
had
us?
no
Uh-huh.
no problem because Mama always told us, and again, never been to school in her life. And
Uh-huh.
one of the things she taught me, and I even used it when I went into the army, got out of the army, even when I was in college, and
Uh-huh.
all through my life. And I still don't forget that. And she says, ain't nobody can stop you but you.
Yes.
Nobody can determine who you are but you.
Uh-huh.
No matter what they call you, you know who you are and don't you forget it.
Yes. You, yeah, you know what that tells me? That tells me that even within the ranks of slaves and those who were not far removed from being slaves, they had empowered thinking.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ain't no,
Yes.
ain't no doubt in my mind. Many
Uh-huh.
of them did, and many of them got bummed. Many of them got hurt.
Uh-huh.
Many of them got killed even
Uh-huh.
by white people because, uh, and I don't know if you have this as one of the questions or not, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Walter
I'm,
Shinoff.
yeah, I got that. It's coming up in a few minutes.
All right.
But before that, can you tell us why would it take so long for you guys to get gasoline?
Well, when there was not number one, there was out in the country, there was not a lot of gas stations.
Okay.
They have a gas station at some of the grocery stores out in the country.
Uh-huh.
And so if I can remember my daddy driving up gas station
Uh-huh.
and get ready to put gas in his car
Uh-huh.
and up drive a white man. So my daddy had to stop us and back away and take his head off and say, I'm sorry, Captain. He'd always call all the white folks Captain.
Uh-huh.
He said, I'm sorry, Captain. You can go ahead and get your gas. You want me to put the gas in for you?
Uh-huh.
That
Uh-huh.
would be my daddy. And
Uh-huh.
sometime the white folk would say, no, boy, you go ahead and get your gas. Don't worry about it. Get your gas. And
Yeah,
my
yeah.
daddy would tell him, yes, sir, Captain, but I know what I'm supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
So I don't mind if you want to get your gas or if you want me to put it in your car.
Mm-hmm.
And sometime it would take us maybe sometime before we can get through with that one, here come another one.
Uh-huh.
So we still have to wait until the last one, no matter how long it is, before we could get our gas.
Yeah. Wow. And
But
the way you described it in the book, you said we were courteous and obedient, sometimes overly courteous,
that is correct.
like the way you just described your father being. Did he ever kind of express frustration over having to be that way?
Yeah, my daddy, after he was able to get his own
Uh-huh.
property. And I can remember my daddy saying, you know what? I want you kids to learn how to save your mama money like your mama,
Uh-huh.
because the way we have been treated, the way I had to grow up and be safe
Uh-huh.
is by using captain and
Uh-huh.
smiling when I'm. He said,
Yes.
that's that don't work.
Yeah.
That is not the way we're supposed to live life. We're
Uh-huh.
supposed to live life like any other man, no matter
Yes.
what color or where he comes from.
Uh-huh.
But in this town, out in a little country town, because them
Mm-hmm.
people could come up in the middle of the night
Mm-hmm.
and pull you out of your house and
Yes.
take you off, and ain't nobody gonna hear from you no
Right.
more.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So he used to he used to explain that
Mm-hmm.
as we grew older.
Yeah. So he was doing what he had to do to survive,
That is correct.
but he was making sure that you guys understood that you were entitled to much more than just surviving.
That is absolutely correct.
Mm.
What you start to say?
So,
So daddy
uh-huh.
would daddy not only did that, he grew us up to be close to each other, and my dad and mama would when we got on our own property would have little charcoal buckets where we would have a fish fry, daddy, mama, and us five kids on a Saturday after we get out of the field.
Uh-huh.
And so it my daddy had more what they call mother wit,
Mm-hmm.
or than I don't know how he could even get it living at 12 years old in the white folks' upper garage,
Uh-huh.
driving and having to say captain and all that.
Uh-huh.
But yet, deep in his soul,
Uh-huh.
he knew that there was something better.
Okay. So one of the things I you wrote in your book, and you wrote freely about this, you said that you guys were treated better than many blacks because you were light skinned.
That is correct. That
And
is correct.
you said we were considered to be in a different class than
That is
darker
correct.
skin. So I
What
don't
about
know.
that?
Yeah, I mean, how do you
Well,
yeah, talk about it.
some some kind of way, the blacks, I don't know how it got created, but it was here when I got here.
Uh-huh.
That is, if you were a light-skinned Negro,
Uh-huh.
you were looked at in a different way than the very dark-skinned Negro.
Uh, yeah.
And even when I got in college at Tennessee State, I can remember the guys saying, "Hey man, hey, did you see that new girl that came in? She's a yellow hammer." Well, now yellow hammer meant that she was one of them light-skinned,
Uh-huh.
very light-skinned black girls with good hair and all that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And all of my family, all the Hearns family,
Uh-huh.
pretty much were very light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
And because
Mm-hmm.
my granddaddy, you couldn't tell him from a white man. My immediate grandfather, you couldn't hardly tell him from a white man to save your life.
Mm-hmm.
He was just as white, blonde hair, blue eyes, the whole thing. And that's the way he got here. So
Yeah.
there was a caste system somehow
Uh-huh.
among us blacks.
Yeah.
If you light skinned it,
Uh-huh.
you got light problems, so to
Uh-huh.
speak.
Uh-huh.
If you were dark, you better get back because
Yeah.
you black.
And that's still an issue that's even prevalent today. You know, it still
That's
plagues our community.
Yeah, I was looking at Angie and she shaking her head saying, yes,
Yeah.
uh, it's that way now. Well, I do my doggonest to dispel that.
Uh-huh.
Even my pastoring in 52 years, I
Uh-huh.
continue to say that every man, every woman, every boy, every girl are created equal.
Uh-huh.
God does not want that to exist among any of us, and not
Yes.
only among the black, but to care and love and respect white people as well, no matter where they came from or how they tried to treat us. We are we were to keep track of doing what we believe is right toward everybody.
So, Bishop, there is more about the racial tension, but I'm gonna save it for the next episode. But there is this quote that I got out of your book, and it says, "Trust that God could change the hearts of even the most wretched among us." And so I think that's a good positive note for us to end this on. But
All right.
as always, I enjoy listening to you talk about your life. I enjoy your story, and I just know that it's having an effect on the people that listen to it. So I thank you for sharing a lot of personal details about your life, and we're just so fortunate to have you, sir. We are.
But let me say this, Michael. I don't I you're not as blessed as I am to have the opportunity to do it.
Okay. All right.
So I'll be glad to help anyone you point me to or anything I can do to make a difference to help you to make this Antelope Valley what you see in your heart.
Uh-huh.
Because I know what God has put in your heart
Yes.
is a good thing.
Yes, sir.
And I want to help as long as I'm running around and got enough room to think and speak.
All right, sir. Thank you.
God
We
bless you.
appreciate you. And I want to say to the people that are listening, make sure you get the book, um, How Odds Even Through Grace, and you can get that on Bishop Henry Hearns or Bishop Hearns.
Henry
It's
Hearns.
just Henry Hearns.
Oh, Henry Hearns dot
Yeah.
com. I'm thinking of the website.
What is it?
That's right.
What,
BishopHenryHearns.com.
Bishop?
BishopHenryHearns.com.
That's
So
correct.
I'll make sure I list that when I put us on the. Have you sir? Have you had a chance to look at any of the videos online?
No.
Okay, so I will be posting this one later today, but I'm gonna
Oh,
make
will
sure
you?
I'm gonna make sure I list the website so that people know where to find the book as well.
I certainly appreciate that.
All right. So until
Michael, we'll
next time.
be looking forward to the next time.
All right. All right. Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day, sir.
Bye-bye.